What's up, Browns fans? Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. And today's show, we're going to check out some free agent targets for Cleveland. We'll look at the team's biggest needs and how they can address those needs through free agency. Speaking of free agency, do you want the Browns to be active in free agency? I don't know about you, but I love the month of March for the NFL because you get those notifications, you get all these Twitter leaks that the Browns and your team are interested in player X, Y, and Z. So if you want the Browns to break out the checkbook, open up their fat wallet, and spend some of Haslam's money, like this video, because you know what? It's going to take a little money. You got to spend a little money to make a little money. So with that being said, let's look at the Browns' biggest needs and how they can address those needs through free agency. Surprise, surprise, wide receiver is the biggest need for the Cleveland Browns, especially if they end up moving on from Jarvis Landry. I like DPJ. I like Anthony Schwartz. I don't like him enough to trust them as wide receiver 1 and 2, though. So there's a lot of great options out there. Here are the top 5 guys, in my opinion. Davante Adams would be great and all. I think he goes wherever Rodgers goes. And I don't think Rodgers is coming to Cleveland, so dream on a little bit to get Davante Adams. Now, Chris Godwin, that's more attainable. Allen Robinson had a down year with the Bears, but we know what he is capable of. I think he was just kind of fed up with the Bears coaching regime. Then you get Mike Williams, who at one point looked like a bit of a bust of a first-round pick, but he had a great year, actually, for the Chargers, and he's going to look to get paid for it. Michael Gallup, like Godwin's coming off an ACL tear, but he's been stuck behind a lot of bodies in Dallas, so he could have a breakout kind of couple of seasons if he gets the targets as a wide receiver number 1. With those 5 names in mind, I want you guys to go ahead and pick a wide receiver for me. Adams, Robinson, or Godwin, those are my 3 top guys. But if you want to roll with someone else, if you love Mike Williams, or maybe it's a deeper sleeper than that, type your O for other. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. I'm putting a CG. I want to get Chris Godwin. Davante Adams is the best wide receiver, but he's not going to probably come to Cleveland. So let's kind of set our sights on a more attainable guy. And I think Chris Godwin could be that guy. I think he wants to get paid. He's been on a rookie deal for his entire career so far. And the Browns, they can be that team. Let's talk it into existence. Let's get Chris Godwin to Cleveland. Here's a mock contract I put together to give a rough idea of what it would look like to get Godwin up north. I'm giving a 4-year deal, $90 million altogether, an average of 22.5. That's a lot of money. I know that, and guaranteed a 45. I'm looking at 2 things here if I'm Chris Godwin. I'm looking at the years, 4 years. Okay, so they want me long-term. I want long-term. That gives me assurance that I'll be paid for a good chunk of my career, and then guaranteed. That's all I care about, too, is how much of that money am I actually going to see? $45 million, that's a lot of money you're going to see. If you would give Chris Godwin this contract, go ahead and type me down below. Just want to gauge you guys, see how you feel about that idea. If you disagree, don't worry. I've got big boy pants on. I can take it. But let me know if you agree with me on this one. Type your me's down below if you would give Chris Godwin that big contract. Keep in mind, the NFL salary cap is going up this offseason, so the Browns and the entire NFL have a lot more dough to spend around. The second tier of free agent wide receivers looks something like this. I would not be mad if the Browns ended up having to settle for one of these 5 guys. I don't have a ranking for any of them because a lot of it is very dependent on when you get to the second tier of what the system they were in before and the quarterback they were working for. Like Christian Kirk, for example, I've kind of gone a little sour on in the last 24 hours because he said Kyler Murray to throw to him, and I don't know if, that's all him or that's more Kyler Murray. I don't like JuJu all that much. I think he peaked in that Pro Bowl season, and he's been just an annoying diva since then. Alan Lazard, I've seen some Browns fans comment about him down below. What's he like without Rodgers? I don't want to be the team that pays him and finds out. Now, Jakobi Meyers and Russell Gage. Let's unpack that a little more with Christian Kirk in mind, because I go back and forth on Kirk. But these are 3 names that I'd be more keen on honing in on, because Jakobi Meyers, one, the Patriots just haven't had that go-to wide receiver for some time right now, and maybe Jakobi Meyers just needs a change of scenery to really break out. He's had some great seasons in New England. I mean, 866 yards and 2 touchdowns. That is nothing to be ashamed of. Russell Gage, on the other hand, he was with the Falcons this past season, and If you remember, Calvin Ridley stepped away mid-season, so he took on a bigger of a workload, and he showed what he can do. That's 770 yards and 4 touchdowns. I would not break the bank for any of these guys by no means, but if you can't go get a top 5 guy, you got to settle for one of these 5 guys, maybe one of these 3 guys. Before we get to the rest of the show, if you guys want to stay up to date with the latest Browns free agency news and rumors, this is the channel to do it. Subscribe right now. That way, when March comes around and the Browns are putting ink to paper and they're signing players, you can get to know those new players and you can stay up to date. Hit that big red button and subscribe. On to the Browns' second biggest need. That is edge rusher, in my opinion. This one fluctuates around. If the Browns re-sign Jadeveon Clowney, which I hope they do, then this need is not that big of a need. But if they don't, then we have to have a longer conversation. Here are my top 5 edge free agents, and I always keep in mind attainable, so just kind of bear that a little bit. But Jadeveon Clowney is number 1 for me. Hassan Reddick had a great year for the Panthers. So-so start to the Cardinals, former first-round pick out of Temple, didn't just live up to that first-round status, and they ended up moving on for him. But Hassan Reddick, that's a good name right there. Randy Gregory out of the Cowboys, he'll look to get paid. Malik Reed and Emmanuel Ogbah, they're kind of hit or miss. I don't know if hit or miss is the best way, but we'll call them roller coaster, fluky guys. Malik Reed had a great season in 2020. And then this year, couldn't stay on the field the whole season, and up and down moments. And Ogbah, when he's on, he is on. But here's my kind of take on this whole edge rusher position for the Browns. I want to give Myles Garrett more than a rental partner. And what do I mean by that? In 2020, it was Olivier Vernon. 2021, it was Jadeveon Clowney. In 2022, if it's someone else, I just want that someone else to be not a revolving door. I want a duo. I want a Batman and Robin at the end for the Cleveland Browns. I want Garrett and someone. I want Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis kind of 1-2 punch throughout most of Garrett's career. I know it's not easy to pay top-tier edge rushers, but let's give them more than just one-year guys who say hello and don't buy. They rent a house in Cleveland, right? Let's get someone a little more long-term. And Clowney hopefully could be that long-term guy. So if you want to get Jadeveon Clowney back, I can't guarantee if you type 90, his number down below, he'll re-sign. But Clowney's on YouTube, and he wants to search his own name, and he comes across this video, and he feels the love from the dog pound. Can't hurt. So spam 90 down below. Let's help get Clowney back to Cleveland, get that Batman and Robin duo between Garrett and Jadeveon. We'll move on to the rest of the video in just a short moment, but first, we got a great deal going on at Fanatics. 30% off Browns hoodie. That is right. When you go to chatsports.com/Cle hoodie, CLE hoodie, just put it in your web browser, and then boom, 30% off is waiting for you. They got it in brown and in orange. I'll have that link in the comments and the description of the video. Check it out, chatsports.com/Cle hoodie. That is CLE hoodie. Can't miss it. Third biggest need for the Browns, in my opinion, this offseason. You could go back and forth, I think. I would listen to the idea of linebacker over defensive tackle. But the way the Browns have been scheming lately under Joe Woods, they don't play heavy linebacker sets. They like to roll with 3 safeties a lot of time. So it just doesn't make a huge need for the Browns at the linebacker spot. So that's why I'm going with defensive tackle. Here are 5 names that are going to hit free agency that hopefully the Browns can sign one of them. I've got their PFF grades, by the way, at the bottom, so you can see where Pro Football Focus graded them. I like PFF for a lot of things, especially in the trenches when you don't have stats, right? Where you got tackles and sacks, but it's just not the best way to evaluate some of those players. So Harrison Phillips out of Buffalo, he had a breakout season this year at a very good time. I'm guessing Buffalo will want to keep him, but if Cleveland could come in with a bigger offer, I bet he wants to go where he can make the most money. The interesting name there, and we talked about this guy on my last video, the former Cleveland Brown, Larry Ogunjobi. Would he want to come back to Cleveland after having a good year in Cincinnati? PFF did not rate him that high, but he had the best year of his career. There's no doubt about it. And then B.J. Hill, if you watch the Super Bowl, you probably saw him flash across the screen a couple times. He's going to make some noise this offseason in free agency. So keep an eye on some of those guys because the Browns, they need a run stopper, and I would like them to address this need maybe in free agency over a high draft pick. Because here's why. The Browns' run defense in 2021, it ranked 12th. And it'll go down if they don't plug some of those holes. Because Malik Jackson and Malik McDowell, both of them unlikely to return. Billings was just a bit of a flop of a signing, in my opinion. So I don't want to see the Browns go out and make heavy draft capital on that defensive tackle spot. Because even with Malik McDowell and Malik Jackson, who were good, but they weren't, head turners, they had them top half in the NFL. And so it kind of goes to show you don't need to overspend at the defensive tackle spot when you have bigger needs. Aaron Donald, they don't grow on trees. So the idea of, you got to get the next Aaron Donald because the Rams did that and they won a Super Bowl. Yeah, but the Bengals also went to the Super Bowl and they didn't have an Aaron Donald. They had just guys. They had dudes. They had beasts. They had guys in the trenches. I'm okay with getting guys over dudes. Wrap up the video. I just want to see what this is right now. So, what was your first Browns jersey? You got a Bernie Kosar vote down below, I'm guessing. Let me know, maybe an Ozzie Newsome. Let me know what your first Cleveland Browns jersey was. Hopefully, it's not a quarterback that was only on the team for a year, but us Browns fans, we know that's more likely than unlikely. So, let me know what it is in the comment section below, and we will catch you later here on the Cleveland Browns Report.